Who should we believe? Should we believe you, Chris, or should we believe the LA Times?
Somebody lying.
Somebody. Sources.
Hey, I'm sticking with my report. I had it that LeVar actually met with multiple agents, been interviewing these potential agents for the take on his son, and I was told that in these interviews he's asking if they have the power, the clout to pair, to get all three of his sons on the same team. And so he's very much still involved. It was initially, the plan initially was for Lonzo to be his own man, to go out there and start making his own decisions. Then LeVar got back into the picture. I don't know how and why he got back into the picture, but that's when things started to crumble. And then after that, that's when his agent, Harrison Gaines, parted ways after that. And I was told that LeVar's emergence had something to do with that. So I'm sticking with.
Now, without knowing the full details of those meetings, on its surface, I don't like your father being in those meetings. Being a guy, being a player, just knowing what that exchange is like, that is actually an employee of you, the player, not the other way around. They work for you. I would like to see Lonzo take full control of that. Outside of that, I'm not into this let's shun your father to show that you have full responsibility and you're a man. Through this process, the maturation process he goes through, you just went through a scandal. You just went through a situation where you suffer from financial fraud. Somebody got you. They got your father as well. Lonzo's going to learn.
Your father recommended.
Okay, respect. And you know what? Lonzo's going to learn from that. Your father will learn from that as well. We are going to go through that process together. Because if we're going to get into now the damning of a family or the breaking up of a family because you went through an issue like this, you know how many players have got before? You know how many businessmen, successful people? You don't break up the family because somebody pulled the wool over your eyes. You learn from it, and then we reset, recalculate, and do better.
I can't get upset at a man wanting to be there for his son to make sure that he doesn't get got again, because this decision of finding an agent.
That you helped.
Yeah, but look at though. But look though.
Right.
That's a good point.
But look though. But if you feel I'm a father. I'm a father. So if I feel that my son is not ready for certain things, I'm gonna be there trying to give him as much advice as I can. And if sometimes I need to take the reins, then I'm gonna do that until I feel like he's ready to do it on his own. And I think. We keep condemning LeVar for being a father and being an on-hand father. And then a lot of times on the flip side, people talk about the father's never there. So we got a guy who's there, who's trying to do the best he can for his kid. That's what he's doing. Maybe he's going about it the wrong way. This is his first time being in this situation. Yeah. So he's learning on the fly as well. But I think that once he feels that Lonzo is mature enough, we got to remember he's just barely out of college and out of high school.
Yeah. He's got a kid now, though, and so that makes him a father. I'm going to say this, and my father, rest in heaven, one of the greatest human beings that ever walked the planet, one of the greatest fathers. Love him to death. But I can say this about my father. There was a point in time, and I was a little older than Lonzo is, but there was a point in time where my father made a mistake, running his business. He didn't tell me about it until the day it was due that $18,000 had to be paid. That's when he called and looped me in on something that had been going on for a year. And see, I had to fix the problem, and I did. But that changed the dynamics of our relationship moving forward. And it's like, now I'm the shot caller. Moving forward, you call no shots.
18,000 to do that. It changed,
18,000 reasons.
I think you looked at that situation the wrong way, and you should have had a greater respect for your father. I've been in that same position, not with my father, but I looked at it the same way you did, and I said, oh, we know who's running this going forward. But here's the way I learned to look at it. Your father took so much pride in being the man to you. He didn't want that bailout. Imagine he's in the middle of the ocean, and he's drowning. And he's like, before I tell my son to come out here and risk anything, I'm going to try and save myself. And he went all the way to the deadline of that. And then he came to someone he helped create to say, you know what, let's save this.
I had no problem.
Respect for that. So why would the dynamic have to change? Because you know your father was just sitting there with a lot of pride.
I reached the conclusion, justified, because that wasn't the last bailout. There was 15 more.
Let's get to the root of it. That's what it was.
Habitual.
And he just gave us the top layer. He didn't get deep with it.
Right.
There's levels to this.
At some point, you have to realize, hey, this There were things he was able to do before. As he got older, I needed to take more control and be the shot caller, because that's who he raised me to be. Yeah. And that changed the dynamics of our relationship. And I don't share that story in any way to embarrass my father. He's passed, and again, I'm telling you, my father was awesome and a big part of my success. And I owed him everything that I did for him later in life. I have no regrets, nothing about that. But I'm just saying, Lonzo may have reached the point, given the situation with the guy getting ripped off, that he's going to have to step up and say, you know what, the dynamics have changed. I'm a father now. I got to be the shot
But
caller.
that's if he's ready and mature enough to do that. I mean, you got to remember, just because you have a kid don't make you a father and a man. You still trying to learn. He's super.
That's a problem.
He's super young. You know what I mean? You got to think 3 years ago he was in high school. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't. 3 years out of high school, I'm not sure if I would trust my son fully if I don't feel like I'm gonna do everything I can to prepare him.
You're more qualified than LeVar, though, right? I mean, if your son makes it to the NBA, you've got a bit more qualification.
I have a little more but at the same time, I'm not more qualified to be a father and have the responsibility of making sure my son doesn't fall into any kind of pitfall or doesn't make the same mistake. So
but goes back to make the same mistake. Let's not forget, LeVar spearheaded this unconventional path of entering the league and trying to start your own brand and get your own shoes. Now, there are some financial issues that I've been told about that's going on with the situation. So why would you, again, want to trust your father and allow him to go and pursue the next agency?
Well, I also think this, though. Lonzo might have more say in this decision than he did in any other decisions he had before. So we got to give him an opportunity to do that. We got to give him an opportunity to mature. Right now, we knocking it like Lonzo's not saying nothing. Maybe he wasn't ready to say something. Maybe everything that LeVar has been doing has been preparing him to move forward and be a man. I think once he sees that, LeVar step back.
Now he's in championship mode, and he's going to get Anthony Davis and Larry Bird and the ghost of Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar all to come back and play for the Lakers.
Is Wilt coming?
Wilt as well.
Wilt gonna bring him.
Championship mode. You optimistic about championship mode or championship mindset, Marcellus?
Man, this is sad. I didn't think LeBron would get caught up in yelling at the noise, like yelling at the naysayers. Like he knows, because one, you've been to 8 of the last 9 finals. Let's include this year. LeBron, those superstars don't listen to that channel. They don't watch Channel 0. You're talking to fans now. You're talking to the ones who can't help you. Everyone who knows you, LeBron, knows you about that life. They know that you are a champion in spirit and in effort.
Not anymore.
Who are you talking to now? No, this is when you're somewhere and you're hearing criticism, and like DJ Khaled always said, they. He's talking to they. But who you need to be talking to is just a couple of dudes. Kawhi, KD, that's a short list. And they don't even need to hear it because they know who you are. It's sad to see him talking into the wind to this noise.
Well, he hasn't missed the playoffs since 2005. So you got to think how his mind is working right now. Like, this is uncharted territory for him. You know, he's usually being successful. So this is a little bit of adversity as far as you're not as successful as you thought it was going to be. So this is his way of motivating himself. Like, you know what? It's championship mode right now. This is what we're trying to do. How do you attract people to come work with you? Say we're going to have the best. We're striving for the best. I need you so we can be the best. That's all he's doing. He's setting the groundwork so he can recruit this summer. And if they don't land 2 top free agents this summer, it's going to be hard pressed for him to get back, because just what they have right now, I think really what they need to look for, if they can get a point guard and I'm not saying that Rondo and Lonzo can't do it, but like a Dame Lillard, like that type of a point guard that can go out there and score, but then also make plays that he can dictate to the defense.
Talking to my guy Dame. Okay. All right.
Bring it.
So let me say this. So this is going to be an unusual situation for LeBron this summer because, you know, I've covered him in Cleveland. I know LeBron in this regard is that he doesn't recruit outwardly. Most of the reason why he didn't do that was because he was in Cleveland. And it was like a sooner or later, like it was like a few years back, he finally admitted, like, look, I recruited everybody. Nobody wanted to come to Cleveland. Yeah. But it was also they didn't want that perception that guy, like he struck out on outwardly recruiting. Now he's putting himself out there and saying, look, I'm in a championship mindset when it comes to recruiting guys. I just think that this summer, I just don't like their trajectory. I think when you're looking at all the top free agents out there, I think they're directly linked to other teams, not the Lakers. For them and the Lakers, I think AD is their only saving grace. They got to get that trade done.
They need more than that, though.
But that's the first domino. Once you get that, then you can start adding pieces from there. But if that AD doesn't come to fruition, and then Kyrie stays in Boston or go to New York, KD stays in Golden State or go to New York, Kawhi stays in Toronto or go to the Clippers, who's left?
Right.
Who's left that's going to move the needle? So this summer is really big. And if he's going out there and saying, I'm a public recruit, and he strikes out, we think his what is it? His percentage, what? They got Kobe above him and
Goats.
Yeah, Ghost now.
Oh.
It's going to diminish dramatically after that if they strike out.
But champion mindset versus what? Championship
You
mindset.
already had that, right?
Yeah. So when you get redundant, a lot of times they teach you this in psychology, you being insecure about something. Like, LeBron, what are you talking about? Like, that's like LeBron saying, I'm a great player. Yeah, bruh, and?
Right.
So when you're talking to this, you're not talking to the directed targets. If you're going to recruit, there's an art to recruiting. And right now, this is not the first best step in the art of recruiting.
And I think the reason why he's having such a hard time getting people to L.A. right now, think about all the top free agents. Who are they chasing? LeBron to be the best player. And how can you eclipse him if you're on the same team with him? Right. We win the championships together. And then your legacy is going to be directly attached to his legacy as well. So these guys want to kind of create their own lane and their own legacy. They don't want to attach it to LeBron. So that's another uphill battle that he got to climb. I mean, because if you look at it, if you was trying to become the main guy, I wouldn't want to go play with him either.
Take him down.
Yeah. To me, LeBron is like Avon Barksdale from The Wire. After he got out of jail, and him and Stringer, he's trying to explain to Stringer that he still wants his blocks. I want my block. I'm just a gangster. No, we ain't got to do that no more. We ain't got to do that no more. And what Stringer was really trying to tell us, man, you can't get them blocks back, man. Yeah. Marlo got them.
Marlo got him.
LeBron ain't getting his blocks back, man.
The Clippers got him.
The Clippers got him. Steve Ballmer, Jerry West, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Kawhi. It just ain't the same no more.
But you could get Klay Thompson.